and welcome to Scots United, where I, Scott, my team of Scots, who are also me, bring you the latest in movies, television, and popular culture. I'm eating here. I'm having a little soup that I made from scratch because I like to cook, if you didn't already know that. And I'm baking some cupcakes because I can, because we're all sort of indoors right now, right? But let's not talk about it because I think enough people are airing their grievances and their thoughts on it right now. Let's just say that, unusual for me, but I had a little cocktail this evening as well, which I usually don't do. But, hey, you know what? I was feeling a little anxious. So, you know what you do when you're a little anxious? You get some stuff. I forget what it's called. Doesn't really matter. So, I was thinking, you may have some time on your hands coming up, more than usual, perhaps. So, in the spirit of that, let's talk about podcasts. Hey, Scott. So one podcast that I've been really enjoying this past over a year, maybe two, you get lost sort of in the time of it, is called Unspooled. Paul Scheer does How Did This Get Made, which I have listened to for years and loved. But this is with him and Amy Nicholson, and they're doing the AFI Top 100. So they're going through every episode is dedicated to one movie, and they do a deep dive. They interview either like a film expert or somebody that was in the movie if it was more recent, or someone like adjacent or connected. It's fun and funny, but it's also just informative. If you love old movies and great movies, it's really for you. They take time out to go over like the best of the year and talk about the Oscars, and it's been a wonderful journey. And also, as much as I've got to revisit movies I've already seen movies I haven't seen before, including like this week was Sunrise, a silent movie from the 20s that I normally might have skipped, but I watched, and it is really gorgeous, affecting, and really contrary to what you would expect from a silent movie. And certainly something that's still very watchable and very engaging. So, Unspooled, it's a lot of fun and really worth it, especially now that you have more time on your hands. Sunrise was a gem. Really showed what it was. It was really lyric. It was almost like a choreographed dance, and it was beautiful. And it really reminds you what film can do when it's not relying on, relying on dialogue. Honestly, there's so much storytelling that can be told, and it makes me remember, my last trimester teaching. We ended up doing Oedipus the King, Oedipus Rex. Well, for a time, I considered doing a film project with my students, and I didn't really think I had the know-how to do it, but I wish I did, because we had a great idea, and I still think about that idea. It was going to be like kind of a silent film with a soundtrack that told a story about a brother losing his brother to violence, and the one that got away. In any case, I think Scott's out there, and he wants to talk to you about another podcast. Hey, Scott. So, it's actually funny that Scott started watching Unspooled because Paul Scheer is the host of How Did This Get Made, and so one led to another, because that happened with me too. I'm a big fan of Throwing Shade with Brian Safi and Aaron Gibson, which has been running for years, and I've been listening to for years. And they often had a guest, Ronna Glickman, who's a character played by Jessica Chaffin, who's hilarious and very opinionated, gives advice, and so now and she was on her own podcast, like a comedy duo, Ronna and Beverly. In any case, now Ask Ronna with Ronna and Brian is a new podcast, and if you like advice podcasts, you have to watch this. I mean, Ronna is a priceless character. She's from Marblehead, Massachusetts. Of course, I'm from Massachusetts. She gets the accent right on. And her and Brian play off each other well. And they take real questions from listeners and give their best non-professional, not unprofessional, but they're not professional therapists. They're not professional, but nonetheless, they do give good advice. And Ronna knows a lot about a lot of things. Or, the actress that plays her. But nonetheless, it's just great. They have a guest. It's funny. It's surprising. Their commentary on the people that ask the questions. They did an amazing 8 Days of Veronica special episode where they gave gift ideas for the holidays. It's just one of my current new favorites. So great. I hope my aunt is enjoying the gold serum that we ordered because of the podcast. In any case, though, one more to mention is in bed with Nick and Megan. I already thought ahead to the Megan part, if you couldn't tell. Drinking. So, if you like Nick Offerman and you like Megan Mullally, they have a podcast called In Bed with Nick and Megan. They interview friends, they're each other. It's an interesting dynamic seeing them as they are, as a couple, and it's a lot of fun. So if you like the celebrity interviewing, another celebrity format, another good one. And hold the phone. We cannot go any further. We're leaving it in without talking about Castlevania Season 3. 3, like these 3 pistachios. Because, now, we're a fan. We talked about Season 2. Season 1 was like 4 episodes. Very short. Quick. Kind of established the world. Stylish, beautifully animated, interesting. Season 2, suddenly we get, like, Dracula, his son. There's a whole, like, push and pull there. Very interesting. Lots of cool stuff. And they expanded the cast. Season 3, though, we've got 4 storylines. We've got, interlocking characters. We've got complex emotional journeys. We've got vampire lesbians. We've got, too much. Like, threesomes, bisexual threesomes. I mean, this is an animated show for today, and it is fabulous. So that's Gone to United for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. You got 3 podcasts, and a Netflix show really worth binging. It's 22 episodes altogether for 3 seasons. And they're each a half an hour, 2 minutes. So, seriously, it's not hard. It's really good. And you get some full frontal male nudity animated. And not in like a weird, like, look at it way. Just sort of like a casual way, which is the way I think nudity should be in both genders. And I was like, good for you, fucking Castlevania. Like, you have a naked guy in a cell being tossed around by a vampire. Like, just show that he has a dick. I mean, it's fine. And then there's some boobies and some dicks later too, because this show is very just like, it gets sexual in the last 2 episodes, second to last of the 3rd season, in specifically. And I was like, okay. I mean, you don't see that very often, but I wasn't like into it, but I wasn't like, I was into it in the way that I was like, okay, like I like that this is happening. Not that I was like, into it. I mean, you get what I'm saying. It was very stylized. And again, the animation, the whole presentation, the artistry, and the storytelling of this show is really good. So, have a great week. Wash those hands. Just now I thought to like jump into the South Pacific song, I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair, and just do some kind of like take on that with washing my hands, but I had that one drink, and apparently it's just going to my head, so I can't quite frame the lyrics. But imagine it, and it happened. So do your best to stay safe, be well, and we will see you next week.